What it do? Y'all know who this is, and y'all know what this is. Let's just get it going. So, welcome to Whole Hog, the level that you get from getting the key in Sunset Vista, which I'm sure not many casual players will probably get because, you know, they ain't trying to get all the boxes and shit. But, yeah, this is essentially the same level as Hog Wild, only, I guess, a little bit harder in terms of obstacle placement and box placement. And you'll see that because, I mean, I fuck up quite a bit here, just because I'm not familiar with this level. And, you know, toward the end, like, I have one of the more annoying restarts. But I think I only had, like, 2. As you'll see, many of the deaths that I have in this stage are like before a checkpoint, so, you know, you'll just be seeing me start from the beginning again. Which, I mean, there are some levels that are like that, and I'm fine with that because, like, you know, you have so much room for fucking up. Then again, you also had that in the original version of this level too, like Hog Wild. You know, I think you only have like 1 checkpoint in these levels, so I mean, it's fine. You still have a lot of room for error, but at the same time, once you hit that checkpoint, you know, you have one other half where you can't fuck up. And sometimes it can be good, and sometimes it's really fucking annoying with levels like Slippery Climb, which we'll get to much later in the playthrough. Probably after this video even. Or actually, I don't know. I think it's maybe 2 more videos ahead of that. Either way, they're going to be very frustrating to edit and very frustrating to watch because, you know, Third Island kind of kicked my ass a little bit. At least the beginning part of the Third Island. Because I did end up finishing strong in this game. We finished, by the way. We finished this fucking game, and I couldn't be happier. Which, you know, I mean, it's always a fucking... like, it's always an accomplishment for me to 100% this game, because, I mean, even though there are much harder games that exist, you know, Crash 4, you know, this is still a pretty damn challenging game to play, you know, if you're just, like, playing the original, where, you know, every gem requires perfection. There's the death right there. Actually, no, not even, no, it's not a death. It's not a death. See, I'm so used to, like, restarting and saying I died, but this is probably the first instance where I had to reset because I missed the fucking last box, like literally the last box, and I was about to finish the level and have the box tally tell me that I missed 1 box, even though I know which box I missed. So there's a gem right there. You know, shouldn't have been that hard, but you know, I made it hard for myself because, you know, I haven't played the game in a bit, you know, since I recorded this. And, yeah, a whole lot of shit happened, like, after I recorded this, actually. Because, I'm glad that I finished the game before the plethora of bullshit that happened in my life that kind of delayed me to release this video. And not only that, but, caused so many fucking, takes and, you know, delayed fucking, commentaries. So... holding that thought, this is Koala Kong. As you see, this boss is piss fucking easy, just like the rest of them. As long as you stand still and spin the fucking rocks he's throwing at you, and dodge this big one that he's gonna throw at you soon, and spin it right back at him, there you go. There's the whole fucking boss. Just don't get blown up by TNT and you're good. And you really shouldn't be getting blown up by TNT because as long as you stand still and spin the rocks, you know, you will never get blown up by a TNT that's right next to you, because you'll be far enough to get away from it. You know, it's a damn shame that you don't see Koala Kong ever again in another, like, you know, mainstream Crash game, aside from Crash Bash, and, you know, they also added him as, I guess, a DLC character in the Crash Team Racing remaster, which I have to play that game, by the way. I have to get to that. In fact, I actually want to play the original Crash Team Racing on this channel. But it's just been so fucking long that, you know, I'm going to be rusty as hell. And it's just going to look stupid, so we'll get to that when we get to that. So look how fucking easy this shit is, man. Now, the only challenge here is that you got to spin the rock early enough to where it goes between the minecarts. Otherwise, if you spin into a minecart, it'll block the projectile. and you'll have to go through the whole cycle all over again. But he doesn't really change anything up. It's just the same fucking shit, right? Like, wash, rinse, and repeat. So, now we're on the third island, and we do start off pretty decently here. But, like, it's the video after this and a couple of videos after that where you'll see the struggles really start to happen. Especially with the second key level. Holy Jesus, where do I begin with that? In fact, I'm not going to begin with that. I don't want to talk about it. It's just, like, that is a memory that I've repressed in my fucking mind. And it happened relatively recently. Because, I mean, again, it's a level that I'm not too familiar with. Because, you know, normally when I play this game, I don't go for 100%. I kind of just go from beginning to end in every stage. Because getting the gems in this fucking game is just absolute torture and stupid. Also, you're going to miss these boxes if you don't recognize that pit right there. That's not actually a death pit, so, you know, be aware of those enemies right there that are, like, on the sides, and don't jump into them like I did, please. Okay? Don't be cringe like I did. But, yeah, there we go. You got those 3 boxes, so, this level, as far as, like, you know, deaths are concerned, we're good. We don't have to, like, worry about restarts, because I kind of trudged my way through it carefully. Carefully enough to not, you know, have a death. I mean, it's like, there's not much to say about this level. It's just, like, it's a side-scroller, and it's like, you know, you're on a third island. I like the music and the tone that it sets for this level, too. Where it's like, you know, from what I watched from the SGB channel, Matt Mattelli said it best. You know, the music conveys that the science that CORTEX is doing isn't necessarily wrong, but he's going the absolute wrong way about it. You can tell, like, you know, that's the evil genius shit here. Be careful about this jump, by the way. You know, that life is normally not worth it, and I'm surprised that I even, like, landed that, because normally every time I try to get that life, I overshoot it, and then I end up, like, missing the platform on my way down. It's kind of annoying. Also, it's annoying is what I did there. I don't know why the fuck I ran into that, you know? There's just a lot of moments with this game where I'm just like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, what the like, Jared, what the fuck is your problem? Like, dude, have some sense. But, you know, we don't really have, like, you know, too many moments here with that, so it's kind of a boring level. So I've kind of run out of things to talk about with this level, so I might as well just talk about the shit that happened that delayed this video. See, before, or rather after I recorded these videos and finished the game, Hurricane Ida had struck my region. It was a Category 4 hurricane, and it was a slow-moving hurricane, too, so it was a concoction of just really bad shit. Like, just the most, like, horrible shit that you can get from a hurricane is one that fucks everything up and then, you know, just stays there for days on end. Meaning that, you know, you're basically without power for forever. Which, you know, that's a funny little story right there. So what happened with this is, see, the comparison between this and Katrina is kind of like apples and oranges, really. Like, you know, I feel like Katrina's still pretty bad because, you know, of course, you know, the force of the hurricane, you know, fucked up a lot of buildings, and then right after that, the levees ended up failing on us. So, you know, everything was underwater. And we didn't get help for, like, weeks. However, with this hurricane here, nobody evacuated, and we didn't really receive any, like, you know, water. Like, I mean, we did receive a little bit of flooding in my neighborhood, which normally does not flood, so that was kind of weird. But what happened is that, you know, everything was kind of shaping up like a, you know, it's kind of like a Category 3, whatever, like, we're gonna have flickering power, but, you know, normally it stays on. No, what happened is that the hurricane winds were so strong that it fucking knocked over a transmission tower in Harahan or something, and it fucking blew that bitch into the river. And that transmission tower happened to be a main tower that supplies power to the entire city of New Orleans. Ain't that a fucking hoot? So, we were out... See, we were without power for, like, what? Almost an entire week. And they were saying that, you know, the maximum of waiting time would probably be 3 weeks. Maybe up to a month. And you could already tell how bullshit that sounds. And I don't need to explain why the fuck, you know, that's stupid. You know, we're gonna be without power for weeks on end because you motherfuckers are incompetent? Yeah, okay. But thankfully, we got our power back around, I guess, Thursday of that week. But it was a hellish experience. Like, we were in a hot fucking house with no power, no air conditioning, no anything. We didn't have a generator, so, you know, we were literally just kind of, like, relying on keeping the, like, windows open and hoping to God that the weather would at least stay breezy and windy from the hurricane that was passing and making landfall. But, you know, that never happened, you know, because, of course, it would be our luck is that the whole entire city is without power, and then we're faced with a record fucking heat wave. So, we're not only, like, you know, sweating in our houses already, but we're cooking in that bitch, you know. We're cooking in that bitch, and a lot of us don't have generators, so we have to rely on maybe the small chance of a breeze coming in here and there, which is not going to be helpful. It's not going to help the dog from, like, you know, panting and nearly dying from a heat stroke. It's not going to help my mother from, you know, passing out from fucking heat exhaustion and shit like that. And for the folks that did have generators, they were running out of gas. And we were short on gas and shit. So, I mean, it was just a bad time. But thankfully, things are getting back to normal now. I mean, it's just, like, a whole lot of shit. Like, I still had to wait a couple days to get my internet back, even when our fucking power came back on. Hold that thought, though. Welcome to CORTEX Power. I have a lot to say about this stage, but I'm going to save it for the gem run. So, what I'm going to say right here, of course, you know, just, I mean, watching this glory of me having fun with invincibility and then it fucking up in my face, like, real hard. I just love doing that. He just jumps and he makes that noise. Now, I got stuck here and ended up dying. But, I mean, whatever. We weren't getting the gem for this run, so I wasn't worried about it. You know, we were like mere steps away from the checkpoint, so no edits needed here. But, you'll quickly see why this level is an absolute pain in the ass to, you know, get the gem on. And, you know, one of my many frustrating moments in this game. So, this is a branching pathway, which is great, you know. We had that in the first, had that in the fucking first level. Didn't seem too bad, but, you know, trust me, like, these branching pathways suck. Like, they're the worst. Especially for this level, where they add branching pathways within branching fucking pathways. And it's just, oh my god, like, I hate it so much. I thought this level was mildly annoying, just from the Insane Trilogy standpoint, because I could still get the gem even without dying. But, you know, as you see here, with this level and its wonky-ass controls, and the fact that you slip and slide right here, you know, when your momentum carries you, when you move and spin at the same time, and have to deal with these heavy-ass jumps where you overshoot a couple of jumps here and there. This level's a pain in the ass, you know, because you have to go through branching pathways on top of branching pathways on top of branching pathways. You know, you gotta remember which pathway to go, and you also gotta be careful that you're not, like, overshooting the blue gem platform as well. And to top it all off, to tie the bow on this fucking, like, you know, on this beautiful turd of a level, you have a crate bridge that you have to get past. And you don't have invincible Aku, cheese it. So you have to fucking, you know, I mean, like, you have to be, you know, very careful with that crate bridge. Normally it materializes, but the reason why it was outlined when we got to it is because I died. Therefore, the exclamation point that I hit was apparently unhit. So, you know, yeah, that happens in this game. All the boxes are unbroken, basically, when you die. So, you know, yeah. Now, welcome to Generator Room. This level here, it's pretty tricky, but I only die once, and that's before the checkpoint, so this was another, you know, quote-unquote flawless run. I like to say that because, you know, according to the rules of the game, you know, I had a perfect run, but I didn't. Like, I actually die right here because, you know, depth perception kind of fucked me over here. I didn't see the gap right there, so I thought I could just walk over it, but I, you know, couldn't. So you see the design of this level is very similar to Temple Ruins, where it's, you know, the camera angles are kind of, you know, deceptive, and you're going from, like, you know, from facing your big fat ass to going to the side. And, yeah, I love the aesthetic. It's a industrialized temple level, and I love the music. Like, it's so eerie and fucking weird. Like, it matches the echoey sort of, like, you know, nature and dark vibe of this level, which the Insane Trilogy absolutely butchered. Like, with whatever fucking music they came up with on that shit. Like, at least with the temple levels, you know, they added some very smooth, snussy jazz to it, and I'm fine with that. I mean, it still doesn't fit the, you know, the dark aesthetic of the level, but, I mean, whatever, I like jazz. But what they did here was just like, ugh. I hate it so much. And it's just like, what have y'all done? Like, this level is nowhere near as intimidating as it could have been. But whatever. So, the tricky part about this level is the fact that it's a color gem level. So in the Insane Trilogy, you still have to beat this level in one life. In fact, even the bonus round is a bit annoying. Because, I mean, I fucked this one up too, but that's because it's like, it's a suspended crate bridge that you kind of just have to hop and skip your way through, and I hate shit like that. Because with how many times I've, like, overshot my jumps, like, it's just too fucking easy to do. So that's normally the one you'll always fuck up here when you're playing this level. On this version, at least. You know, if you're playing the Insane Trilogy, you can just retry it, so, I mean, whatever. But, yeah. So, we get the orange gem from this level, which is kind of unique because, again, you don't see the orange gem ever again in a fucking level. Or rather, you don't see it ever again in a game that's tailored for Crash, except the Insane Trilogy. And we're only going to be going to one level that has the orange gem, which is Upstream in the first island. It's not a hard level, but, you know, sadly I do fuck up in that level once too. But that's completely my fault, so, I mean, I'm not going to complain too much about it. Man. So, yeah. Let's talk about another thing that happened to me. Like, you know, hell, even before the hurricane, you know, I was dealing with the side effects of the COVID vaccine that I took. I think it was Pfizer or something, which, you know, it works pretty damn well. I got the vaccine because I'm not going to be one of those fucking idiots who's going to, like, stick to a stupid belief and then listen to Tucker Carlson's stupid ass about, like, you know, how, you know, taking the vaccine will turn you into a liberal robot, you know? Oh, it's a fucking war against this, it's a war against that, you know? Oh, if you take this vaccine, your balls will grow to the size of basketballs or some shit. I mean, it's so stupid, okay? I mean, it's so stupid, it's actually kind of funny. But where the comedy kind of loses its charm is, you know, when people in this fucking world actually believe that shit. Like, they actually believe that, you know, taking some, like, you know, anti-worm medicine for fucking horses like, has you better off than taking a fucking, like, you know, vaccine that was made to combat the virus that we're fighting in this pandemic. And then not only that, but then you're gonna walk around and still bitch and moan about wearing a mask. Like, come the fuck right on. Like, I really hope these people get a reality check soon. Or when they do end up catching COVID and end up being on their deathbed, you know, it's gonna sound fucked up when I say it, but leave their asses at the hospital. Because, I mean, their negligence is the reason why a lot of us are fucking dying still. It's the reason why America is still in the fucking straits that they are right now with this pandemic. And why every other fucking country in the entire world is laughing at us and pointing the finger and even banning us from their countries is because we're just that sick, stupid, flat earth idiot, you know, wants to pretend that this shit is a goddamn, like, you know, government conspiracy when, you know, science and health don't really care about your feelings, or, like, nor do they care about what you believe in. Like, a virus is a virus. It'll fucking get you, no matter what. Now, I was unvaccinated for a little bit, but that was because I didn't have the time to get it done. It wasn't because I believe or anything like that. Like, it wasn't because I didn't believe in it or whatever. Like, I totally believed in it. Like, I lost my first job to that shit. And, you know, like, it couldn't be because I was afraid of needles. Because, I mean, before that, when I was in the hospital for a UC flare-up, you know, like, every morning or so, I would get, like, I mean, I'll have my sleep interrupted by somebody just like, you know, fucking sticking me with some shit and doing blood work. So I got, like a ton of needles, like, for what? Shit, for an entire fucking, like, week when I was in there for the first time for that shit, you know, I was just getting stuck. Every single fucking morning I was getting stuck, and it sucked. It sucked ass, man. But it makes you immune to needles. It makes you not scared of them anymore. So when I took this vaccine, when they, like, I mean, when I learned that they were going to be, like, you know, injecting it into my shoulder and shit, I was like, oh, this is actually not bad at all. Because, I mean, it lasted, like, half a second. It was one prick and, like, okay, you're done. Now, the side effects, though, that was really the hard part. Because I woke up with massive pain in my arm, and I absolutely felt like shit for 2 days. Thankfully, Walmart paid me, and, you know, I was able to call out and not get an occurrence for it. Thank God. And, when I had recovered that week, I was ready to come back to work. I was ready to come back to work, and then the hurricane hit us, and it's like, boom, all hell kind of just broke loose there. So, you know, just so much shit. Oh, we're coming up on our first death here. And it's because here, I overshoot this jump, which I had no reason to overshoot. I anticipated it being in that spot that I jumped in for some reason. I don't know why I did. That was stupid. So now we are going to, I mean, with our second attempt here, but we do get it this time. I have to say, like, you know, this level still makes me sweat a bit because, like, it's just so many tiny platforms you have to jump on, and you got to get past those fuckers right there that are one-hit kills if you don't get out of the, I mean, like, if you don't get out in time, they'll kill you even if you have a mask or two. Hell, they'll kill you if you're invincible. So it's like, you know, yeah, it was kind of like, I was a little bit, like, you know, tight here too. Because, I mean, of course, that cycle was kind of like scaring the shit out of me a bit. You know, you got a fucking jumping fish that'll make you jump in the air and then make you miss your jump if you hit it. And then you, of course, again, have this fucking asshole over here that if you don't, you know, get out in time, you will die instantly. You know, doesn't matter if you have a mask or not. So these cycles right here were pretty shit. I was so close to dying there. But I made it out in just the nick of time. So there's our gem right there. And, yeah. That's going to conclude this video. And, you know, once we get back to where we were before, which is toxic waste, Oh boy, enjoy that, because, whew. Whoo-wee! Ooh, that's gonna be, You see, Toxic Waste isn't actually the level that gave me shit. I mean, I did need, like, 5 tries to beat it, but... That's nothing compared to, like, you know, getting the gem for that and then having to do fucking Cortex power. So, yeah, I'll see you back, you know, whenever I get that video going. If nothing else, you know, fucks me over in life. So, yeah. Peace out.